camera I'm supposed to be looking at, but whoever it is out there who's stretching with us, stay with us, stretch with us every Monday morning, 7:30 to 8 a.m. Time Warner 56, RCN 83, FAS 34. Before we get started, and before I forget my manners, I'd like to thank our director, Nuriel Axelazo, and our facilitator, Corey Bryce. Thanks so much, Nuriel and Corey, for holding the fort, for really helping us get started on time today. Right here we have with us Gina Benson. And Gina, I'm going to request you to look at the monitor and tell me, where am I? Are you looking into my eyes if I look at this camera? Because you're going to have to help me there.
Are you looking at, so if you're looking at this camera, now I can see you on the monitor. So
Okay,
this is our
great.
camera.
Okay, so for viewers out there, just know this is a very casual show. We take things easy. We take our fun seriously, but we don't take life too seriously. You just want to be prepared for the worst, but be happy with whatever comes your way. You can bring a mat, roll it out right here. Now we have with us Gina Benson. Gina has come with us. She has come and stretched here, helped us stretch right here on the mat. And I think about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we taped with you.
Yes.
Gina gave us 3 beautiful episodes, and I was really well. I felt very comfortable at the end of it. It felt a little bit tough in the beginning, but then I
Okay.
knew what your pace was, but I wasn't sore, so that was good.
Okay, good.
I was actually quite happy at the end of the workout. So Gina, tell us, viewers, before we get started, your credits will be up there too, but I'm sure viewers want to get in touch with you after this episode, so feel free.
You can head to my website, yogavedahealth.com, YOGAVEDA health.com, or you can find me on Instagram at yogaveda_NY. So again, the same spell. Oh, there it is. It's
Great.
up.
Now, it's up on the screen. Thank you, Nuriel. So, Gina, you told us a little bit about yourself some time ago. That's been a while ago, but we were
Yes.
talking about something else. You said, you talked about your family. Would you be willing to maybe even say hi to your family?
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. They don't practice yoga too much, but they do support it. So my dad says, I can't touch my toes, and I try to explain to him all the time. I'm like, Dad, that's not what yoga is. It's not about touching your toes. It's about, like, getting
Effort.
there.
Exactly. It's the effort.
It's the journey.
Yeah. No, that's fine. And are they in New York?
They are. They're not in New York City, but they're an hour north of the city.
Wonderful. Is there anything else you want to share with us before we get started today?
Well, funny enough, I forgot my mat today. As I'm walking out the door, I remembered your gift and I forgot my mat. So I'll be using the carpet. And to be quite frank with the viewers and with you, I actually don't use a mat unless I go and practice at a studio. Most studios require you to use a mat because it's a liability issue. Because mat helps you with traction. But if you are in a safe place at your home and you know that you've taken your socks off and you can come onto a carpet and get comfy with it, it's totally fine to use the carpet or even a hardwood floor. I would just say that if you have bad knees, then maybe take out a blanket just to pad out the knees.
Well, the good news is without a mat, you're closer to the earth. That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Earthing ourselves. I'm ready for you today. What do you have?
Okay, great. So let's start in downward facing dog. And just walk out the back of your legs. One of my friends, she's from Switzerland, and she's so sweet, and she says, okay, now walk your dog.
I like that.
I love it
That's good.
too.
Is she a teacher as well?
She is a teacher. And just start to stretch out the back of your legs here. Or lengthen. And then lengthen through your spine as well. And then find some stillness in your dog pose. On an inhale, walk your feet to meet your hands at the top of your mat. Or the top of your carpet. And you can just hang over your legs as much as you can. If you need to bend your knees a little deeper to do this, that's totally fine. And then on the next inhale, take a slight bend in the knees and roll all the way up. Step one vertebra on top of the next. And then have your head be the last to lift. And then arrive in your Tadasana pose. Inhale, lift your arms.
That was a little bit of feedback you guys might have heard out there, but that's okay. It's real life. Life happens.
Exhale and forward fold. Bend your knees and step back into downward facing dog. Inhale and lift your right leg up behind you. Step your foot between your hands. So you'll arrive here in this low lunge, but lift your back knee. And now very slowly come onto your fingertips. Maybe straighten your right knee as much as you can. If it only straightens a little bit, that's fine as well. And then you're going to pivot your feet to face the left side of your room. Press into your fingertips and lift up through the crown of your head so that your chest becomes parallel to the floor. Exhale and deepen this fold over your legs. And if you're someone like me who puts a lot of weight in your heels, just shift the weight into the balls of your feet so that you can even out the distribution of weight so that we're not leaning back too far or not too forward. So just find that balance there. On the next inhale, press into your fingertips and lift so that the chest is parallel to the floor. And from here, gathering the strength of your inner thighs and outer legs, catch your hands on your hips, hold here, and then rise. So by doing that, we're not using our lower back, we're using the strength in our legs. From here, turn your right toes towards the front of your room. And then bend deeply in your right knee. Take your arms out to the side. Warrior 2. On an inhale, lift your arms and straighten through your front leg and look towards the left side of your room. Lift here from your hips to your armpits and your armpits to your fingertips to extend through your side body. As you exhale, release your left hand down your left leg and rebend the right knee and come into your reverse warrior, dancing warrior. On the next inhale, straighten your right leg and find Trikonasana, triangle pose. So reach your right arm far out in front of you to gain length in the right side body. You can take your hand to your shin and then open your left arm towards the ceiling and stack your shoulders. So there's this long line of energy from your right hand to your left hand. Take your left arm over your ear. Rebend your right knee, gaze down at your right foot, and step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward into the top of a plank. Exhale and lower all the way down onto your belly. Take your hands next to your chest on the floor. Draw your shoulders towards each other and down the spine as you lift up through the heart for Bhujangasana. Exhale, come back down. Tuck your toes, send your hips back, and come back into downward facing dog. On the next inhale, lift your left leg behind you. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Press into your fingertips as you lift through the chest, and here straighten your left knee as much as you can, and then pivot your toes to face the right side of the room. Inhale, press into your fingertips and extend through the crown of your head. And then exhale, fold over your legs. On the next inhale, press the fingertips back into the floor to lift the chest to parallel your spine to the floor. Gather the strength in the inner and outer legs as you take your hands to your hips and rise. Turn your left toes to face the front of the room. Bend deeply into your front knee and take your arms out to the side. Warrior 2 pose. Straighten your front knee and lift your arms over your head. Extending, so both arms will come up first. And then as we exhale, you'll drop the right hand down the thigh and rebend the left leg and come into your reverse warrior. Straighten your front knee. Take your hand to your shin and lift your right arm over your head. Come into Trikonasana. Long line of energy from your left fingertips to your right fingertips. Take your right arm over your ear. Look down at your left foot. Plant both hands and step back into downward facing dog. Take an inhale and an exhale here. Bend your knees deeply and walk to meet your hands. So this time you'll take your feet about hips width distance. Usually it's about the size of 2 fists in between your feet, but sometimes you might need to go a little further out. So whatever feels comfortable, just keep the feet underneath the thighs. How do you feel? Good? You're in the right spot? Nice. So if you can, you'll bend your knees if you need to, but you're going to catch onto your big toes with your 2 peace fingers. This is called Yogi Toe Lock. So you grab with your pointer and middle finger, you'll grab the back of your toe, and then you'll take your thumb and press them into your toenail, your big toenail. And then if you can, draw your chest closer to your thighs and straighten your legs. Listen to your body. On the next inhale, release the Yogi Toe Lock. And maybe this time, pick up your toes and slip your hand underneath your foot. Yeah, so you're gonna just catch on. If you can get your foot all the way to your wrist crease, that's great. If not, you'll just step on the fingers a little bit. But you don't put too much weight on your hands, but just enough so that you feel this lengthen in the back of your legs, this extension. And then just release the nape of your neck. I know I have this tendency to kind of like hold my head up a little bit, but it's really nice when you can just let go and let the head swing here.
What does the tattoo on the back of your neck say?
Oh, the tattoo on the back of my neck, it's a stargazer lily.
Oh.
Yes, I have a thing for lilies. I think they're beautiful flowers.
I notice you have a tattoo on your left ankle as well.
I do. My sister has the opposite one on her right ankle. It's an infinity sign.
Oh.
We're just like the typical millennials who got the infinity sign with their sibling. And then on the next inhale, we'll rise all the way back up. And take your time to get here, because all the blood was pretty much in our head. So when you come up, you want to take your time as it flushes back into the legs. Give your shoulders a roll up towards your ears and then back down the spine.
Ooh, that feels pretty refreshing, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to just like hang over your legs. And Ayurvedically speaking, these forward folds and hip openers are really great to cool down your fire. Oh. If you have like excessive anger, or if you're having like some tummy issues, some heartburn. I mean, heartburn, you might not want to be upside down the whole time, but there's certain things that you can do to help control that, and yoga's great for that.
So when you were in school, if people got really hyperactive, they'd say, put your head down on the desk. I guess there's some logic to that, just to calm us down.
Interesting.
So,
yeah, I've never really thought of that. That's so
I'm just
interesting.
going back to my school days.
Yeah. So if you can, we'll zip our feet back up, and then we'll inhale, lift our arms up over our head when you're ready. Exhale, dive back down. Take your hands to your shins and extend through the crown of your head. Exhale, plant your hands and step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward into the top of your plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up for Bhujangasana, Cobra. Pour the feet and tops of your legs into the floor. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale and lift your right leg up behind you. exhale, step your foot between your hands. So we're here in that low lunge. You're going to step your back foot in about a couple feet just so that the back heel can drop to the floor. And on the next inhale, we'll rise all the way up. You'll straighten your front knee on the way there. On the exhale, release your hands to your sides and catch your hips. We're going to work on the strength of our legs here to hold us up as we fold over our front leg. Inhale and draw your elbows back behind you to lift your chest. Exhale and fold over. If you need to catch onto your shin or even your thigh because it's an intense stretch for the back of your hamstring or the back of your leg, then you can do so. Otherwise, if you're very flexible and you want to hold here, then you can do that, or you could do what Banu's doing and catching onto your ankle. And then again, releasing that head. Releasing any gripping you might have in the back of that neck. On the next inhale, take your hands back to your hips and see if you can rise all the way back up. So your legs really have to work here.
Oh yeah, I can feel the burn.
Inhale, lift your arms all the way back up. As you exhale, release them back down, but you'll bend the right knee this time to frame your foot with your hands to step back into downward facing dog. Inhale and lift your left leg up behind you. Exhale and step your foot between your hands. Step your right foot in about a couple feet or inches, depending on how flexible your Achilles tendon is, just so that the heel can catch the floor. And as you inhale, rise up and start to straighten your left knee. Exhale, take your hands down and around to your hips. Draw your elbows back towards the wall behind you. Inhale and lift up through your chest. As you exhale, fold over your left leg. As far as you can go. Again, if you have to catch the thigh or the shin, that's fine. If you have blocks at home or piles of books or something to put your fingers on here, that's also helpful. Or you can keep your hands on your hips and come all the way down. And then again, just remember to release the back of your neck. Ooh, I'm cramping. And when you're ready, on the inhale, we'll come all the way back up. My left calf is going to be sorry tomorrow. It's pressing heavy down through my big toe.
You're not in pain.
No, I'm okay. And then lift the arms back up. As you exhale, rebend your left knee and release your hands down to the mat. Step back into downward facing dog. Take an inhale here and an exhale. Bend your knees deeply, and I'll give you the option now to either hop or walk to meet your hands at the top of the mat. But bend your knees deeply, gaze between your thumbs, and hop silently to the top of your mat. Or walk like Banu. Inhale, take your hands to your shins and extend through the crown of your head. Exhale, deepen your forward fold. Inhale and rise. Exhale, take the hands down through heart center. So the back of our legs probably feel pretty open right now.
Yeah.
But I want to do another balancing, strengthening pose with you. We're going to take our hands to our hips. And we're going to put the weight in our right leg first. So our standing leg will be our right leg. You'll lift up your left foot. And as much as you can, hug your knee into your chest. If you can catch onto the knee and it comes here, that's great. If you can't, that's fine too. You'll just hold yourself here. So if you can catch onto your knee, do that. And then from here, let go of the knee. Take maybe your hand to your hip. And then see if you can extend your leg from there. Now we have a tendency to lift this hip up higher, but drop that hip back and then extend this foot out in front of you and hold here. And if the foot drops a little bit, that's totally fine too. It's just the nature of this pose. It's a really intense pose for the top of your quad and your hip flexor. Because that's what's holding that leg up. Right. So when we're extending the back of our leg, another muscle has to contract in order to lift it. Or in order to extend it. Ooh, so lots happening at once. I know. As you exhale, rebend your knee and release your foot to the floor. Whew, shake out your feet. It's intense.
I needed that, yeah.
It's intense for the standing leg too. The ankle feels it. Yeah. And now we're going to put the weight into our left foot. Take your hands to your hips and lift your right knee into your chest as much as you can. Stabilize your hips. So if you have the tendency to lift your hip, you'll just drop it back down so that your hips are even. Take your hands to your hips again. That'll actually also help you to keep your hips even. And you'll extend your left leg out in front of you. Really reach here. Woo.
Oh, I need that.
I know. I'm falling over. And then you'll rebend that knee and then just release your foot to the floor. We'll do one more pose. We'll forward fold and just fold over our legs. And just let yourself slump over. So we'll inhale, lift up through the chest. So there's a slight back bend here. And then exhale and just fold over your legs and just slump here. And you can bend your knees as much as you need to and just be here with your breath. On the next inhale, you'll lift up through your chest, bend deeply in the right knee, and step your left foot back for a low lunge. Drop your left knee to the mat and take the top of your foot to the floor. You could just hang here. We're going to now stretch that quadricep after that pose. If you'd like to come up like Banu, that's totally fine too. If you wanted to do, if that felt nicer for you, you could do that. I kind of just like to be on the ground and let my head fall. Again, releasing the nape of your neck.
Actually, I need to take the pressure off my knee. So
should
off
I do
of your
something?
knee.
Yeah, so actually, you want to know what, Banu? Tuck your toes, and then send your leg, and actually wiggle your toes back further, a lot further. So that instead of being on the patella, you're above it, above the kneecap.
Okay, got it.
And now as you bend the knee.
Make them forward here.
Yeah.
Off the mat. Okay.
And now drop the knee to the mat. Is that better?
Yes.
And then take the top of the foot to the floor. Much better?
Much better.
Good. I know sometimes we just like come down hard on like the joint itself, but we want to be above it.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Oh, it does. You're right. Because I actually felt it in a different spot.
Yeah, you were probably, yeah.
It was too tender. Okay, got it.
So pick up your back heel and lift your leg. Flip your toes under. Lift your back knee and step back into downward facing dog. Now you'll just step your left foot forward. And we'll come into a low lunge on the opposite side. Exhale, release your knee to the mat. Take the top of the foot to the floor. Is that much better?
I get the hang of it now, yeah.
Yeah. You in a crescent though, in a proper crescent, you're actually, the weight is on the back of your knee. Your hips are more here.
Oh, I see.
I mean,
you mean all of the weight is on the knee?
Yeah, you're like in this right angle pose kind of, but it actually targets more so the quadricep than it does the hip flexor when you're like that. And you can release the neck here. And then you'll just lift your back knee. You can lift your gaze if your gaze was towards the floor. And you'll lift your back knee by flipping your back toes under. And then we'll step forward into a forward fold one last time. And then we'll just make our way all the way back to our seat. You'll just bend your knees and come into a seat because we only have 3 minutes left. I think less than that.
Oh, yeah.
2 minutes.
Our director Nuriel gives us the cue. So guys, if you're stretching with us, stay, keep stretching every week, every Monday. So yeah, how are we doing?
Yeah, we're here. We're done.
We're done. Beautiful.
Is that okay?
No, that feels really good.
I figured it was a pretty intense practice.
It was. I was going to give you feedback just along those lines actually, because it looked very simple, but it actually gave me a very good stretch, and I really needed that. And also, I like the cue about moving when I could feel something tender under my knee.
Yes.
You said get it up here.
Yes.
Get the top of the knee on the mat. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
On behalf of our director, Nuriel Exelazo, and our facilitator, Corey Bryce, we'd like to thank Gina Benson.
Thank you for having me.
Gina it's been really good. It's a very good experience being here with you on the mat, Gina. Gina has a website as well as she's on Instagram as well. She's all over the place, aren't she?
Not Facebook, though.
Not yet.
I
no.
have to be on Facebook.
No, we want to be careful now because you don't want to be in too many places, because I don't know about the Facebook fiasco, but I've heard you just want to be very careful where you put yourself. But that's fine. We don't want any commercial advertising for Facebook or putting them down at all. But stay with us. You are watching Yogaxpress. We still have about half a minute, about 30 to 40 seconds. So Gina, do you have any little tips that you would like to share? I notice you don't have a mat.
Yeah, yoga
today.
can really be done anywhere. Just be mindful of where you're putting your knee. Like even Banu was like, ooh, this is a little tender on my knee. Listen to your body. Get down on the floor and give your body what it needs. If it's a stretch, if it's a strengthening exercise, anything like that.
And also, I did like the cues that you gave to breathe into the posture. So I notice with myself, if I find a posture gets a little tough, I start exhaling and I'm breathing into it so I don't get a catch, because I was a little concerned when you said you didn't say it was a nerve pull, but you said it was a little bit intense at one point. You said I have a catch or something.
Oh yeah, I had like a cramp in my calf.
Like a cramp, yeah. But those things happen to me all the time.
Yeah.
You just had it once in a while, but for me it happens all the time. And I'm finding if I breathe into it, it sort of seems to ease. I don't know if it's all in my head, because a lot of yoga is up here, right?
I know, right? Most of yoga is up there.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much. No.